Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
So wait, are you telling me that in an industry that's oversaturated with competition, where contracts are awarded to the lowest price, with an incredibly high turnover rate, is experiencing lawsuits?
I am shocked and appalled.
Hello, I'm CHP, and I've spent several years in the security industry. And without further ado, let the memes and rants begin. The main problem with most security is that it's obtained through third-party contracts instead of being in-house. In-house is when security is hired and managed directly by the client. While this ultimately saves the cost of overhead in the long run, many clients do not wish to pay the upfront costs of hiring and training their own guards. So the client only looks at immediate savings and thinks they're getting a deal. In their mind, a third-party company is cheaper and will also manage security without their involvement.
No.
Hiring third-party companies ultimately creates more confusion and work on the client's end, but more on that later. If the bottom line is price, security companies will do whatever it takes to shave off some extra dollars to beat them out of the competition. This includes cutting wages and ignoring regulations wherever they see the opportunity to do so. Let's assume that the contract has been awarded and all guards have been hired. You now run into the problem of chain of command. The guard ultimately has three bosses: his supervisor, management, and the client who awarded the contract. Management is concerned with the well-being of the security company and will make decisions as such. For example, they may pull guards off of your site to help staff a new site, leaving you with new and untrained guards. The client is concerned with the interests of their company and knows nothing of the security industry. Often this will lead to clients asking guards to perform duties outside of their scope of work. But because the client controls the contract, they have a big say in whether or not you stay with the company. While the client has no right to tell you to perform your duties outside of security, there is a good chance that you will lose your job if you do not comply. The supervisor is ultimately a more senior guard who has learned to balance the needs of management and the client, but they are not always correct on what action to take when the needs of the client and management conflict. Ultimately, this just adds an extra layer of self-doubt to the guard on how to perform their job correctly. Because contracts are awarded to the lowest price point, guard wages are often abysmal. Few positions pay any higher than minimum wage, even when entering a supervisory role. This doesn't even factor in that most guards are required to pass a course which costs money, just to be eligible to work in the security industry. But if that's not enough to deter you, also consider that many companies will require you to pay for your own uniform and equipment. Why on earth would any rational human being work in an industry that doesn't pay well and requires payment just to work? Ultimately, you are left with many people who are jaded and indifferent in their jobs, having too many conflicting orders between bosses and not making nearly enough to justify any action that would put them in harm's way.